what happened was I kind of we took Elven Kings, and then I was chilling around a little bit, and I watched as they slowly progressed over towards the crossing. And then when I had a few hours sleep before work, I woke up and they were just finishing off the crossing and taking that. And I thought, okay, they're doing fairly well. And then I had a break at work, and I came on and they were storming Laketown, which they did a rather good job of. And then they just started pressing through all these forts. And then I finished work, and they had already pressed into the Dale. And sort of like by the time I got home, I think they were just gathering around here, and I had my tea and had a power nap. When I woke up, the Dale had gone. And not just that, they had also trailed their path to Erebor, where we are now, only 24 hours from seeing the Elven Kings fall, seeing the mighty citadel of Erebor besieged by 110, 18, 20, 38, so it's like 150, 190, 200... 230, 240. There's about 250 armies around here, and then I would suspect that some are probably planning to launch from other positions as well. So we are going to see in the next few minutes a lot of armies march. Now, unfortunately, for my guys, we had Elven Kings up. We do not have war up for Erebor, but in contrast, whilst we were doing the siege damage yesterday, actually CZSK, AGLD and DLZ, all of those guys have their siege up. So it's going to be a close one, because yes, there are like about 250 or so armies around here, possibly more in, but there are 60 already in the capital base for defending, and obviously there's constantly more coming, but there's also constantly more coming on this side. So there's 60 here. There's 25 here, presumably trying to do some flanking maneuver. I will call now that I suspect their plan is when all of these armies launch, they will try and maybe capture this tile. I don't think they'll be able to go for this tile with 111, because those armies are going to hit and then they're going to be coming back. And there'll just be too many of them for them to attack, I suspect. But they might try for this 18. Alternatively, what they are doing, the other potential idea is they are waiting for the siege armies to go in, for all the armies to be destroyed, and for people to start sending the siege armies, and then they'll filter those into the base to try and kill siege armies that tend to be a little bit weaker. We will see. There were just under 100 armies here in Erebor before. Again, this is a gamble when you are the defending army, because whilst they were there and they were defending, what it allowed us to do as attackers is those people with spare stamina with their attack armies, level 50s, this is always a danger, by the way, we could just keep launching our big army and kill maybe like 2, 3, 4, some of the big armies, maybe killing like 7 of weaker armies, and then send them all home, and that person would come back, heal, reinforce, and then just launch again. And go in and just kill so they've gone from having 96 about half an hour ago, they're down to 62, so they've lost 32 armies, plus all of these that keep coming in. So the past half an hour they've had constant amount of additional troops coming in into this keep, and they've still been depleted in numbers. So that's the gamble that you pay by overloading your city with defenders before a siege. And say if we had more time and we weren't in a bit of a rush because of time zones, then we could have just sat here all day. We could have sat here probably for another 3 or 4 hours and just traded off like one or half of an army for killing like 6 or 7, or even 3 or 4. And because they've been defending all day, coming from the other locations and the passes, that's going to sort of tire their armies down. So I suspect to see when I go into here a lot of lower level armies. Anyway, I think my last time I launched Legless in here, I managed to pick up a Boromir kill, which was maybe full health, maybe because they've got eagles and bow earnings in there. So 1,606 now, but I mean that's 2 rare unit types in there as well, so not too bad. And then I managed to get, see what I mean? I suspect I'm going to see quite a fair few of these random armies in here with bits and bobs. And then another Hergon, level 27. So that wasn't a problem. Dispatched with these. And of course I come against something a little bit tougher, and my army's a bit depleted from 3 attacks. So instead of being, full power, I'm at half power. And of course, I struggled a little bit there. Still managed to put some decent output out because a Legolas damage build, not as good as some people in my group. They're up to like 300,000 damage from Legolas over the turns. I'm trying to get there. I'm not fully leveled up, and I don't have the equipment that those guys do. Oh, sugar! I looked away for a second, and I missed the big launch. So let's send in my big armies here that can kind of deal with themselves a little bit. Come on, Legolas. Let's get ready to roll. My March Wardens with sort of like 2 tank units in here. I need to get them upgraded as well. I just don't have the gold. I've not had a fantastic season this season because I've been so busy doing videos and so like mixing my stats and tables and getting all characters leveled up to unlock tables to view and things like that. I've not really had the opportunity to really focus on building things up, which has been a bit of a shame. Okay, I'm launching all the stuff from further away that's a bit slower. And we will see what happens. I'm going to save my cavalry just until the very end. I don't mind losing these lower levels. I've not had war properly for the last few days, so I'm in a pretty good troop position, so I don't really have an issue with launching a whole load and losing a whole load in here, because I've got res for days. Just everything is pretty good. I've got nothing in my apothecary, so that's going to get full pretty quick from all these attacks, but well, let's see what happens. So there's still 24 dwarves armies in there. And 54 of that, 57, 58. So there's about 50 launched from there. Groups from here, numbers from all over the place. So I'm seeing a lot of red lines getting ejected out now. When does my first army? Halder hits 13. I'm going to have to be careful here. I might have to switch back and just heal and insta-heal with some of my speed ups. I've got a fair chunk of heal speed up saved as well. I don't want to overload my apothecary. Let's have a look. I managed to get a Varlin. Pretty solid against that. That's okay. I'll take that. Killed just under 3,100, and I lost 400. I've got too many burnings in there, to be honest. Realm Raiders did alright. Level 50, I'll take that. How did she do? She got a victory against something and then got overloaded in the second one. Gandalf managed to draw. Give him a hit of 50 Ori. Oops. They have been leveling up like crazy. Let's make sure I get these healed up quickly. Let's just use 2 of these and 2 of these. There you go. Oh, we're down. Number of armies. Okay, they're into the armies. So, I mean, that's the job that I needed to do. Just sacrifice. I can't do much siege damage, so just get in there and kill some armies. So that is what was hitting me more than anything else. I guess I managed to run straight into their armies with a lot of my lower level stuff, which is sad panda. But like I say, I mean, every little bit helps because I have nothing else to do. Oh, she got monstrously hurt. Oh, I see. They're picking up. There's 2 battles. Okay, so they're not doing as terrible as I thought. So they're sort of like picking up a victory from a kill, so that's pretty solid. Okay, and then they're getting destroyed against the second one, so that's okay. And then he killed like half and lost a little bit. And then, right, okay, so it's not quite as bad as I thought. So Gimli there finished off what was left of that Gimli, and then got destroyed by Orly. That was a bad match for those. 2,400 anti-cav, and he just had cav. Wow, okay. And Arwen, I thought she did pretty poorly, but no, she didn't. She fought an army first. It was fairly weak. Then she got touched in bad places by Ori. How did Legolas do? Legolas wiped out Faramir, and then he got wiped by Gimli, and he wiped a Gimli, and then struggled against Thangil. Yeah, okay, so this is kind of like a typical. These tough. So if the lower went in against a full army, they did not do very well. So I did have quite a few deaths in here. Killed a Hergon, and then failed against the Aragon. Draw against an Arwen, and then draw against a Legolas. Okay, not too bad. The armies are gone. So that was it. And my heal is pretty extensive. Will I focus? I don't think I want to speed up all that. I don't have a whole load left to do today, so I can not waste a whole load of gems and speed ups for this. What do I kind of want back fairly quickly? Maybe for the rest of battles today, I probably want a few of those. And let's grab a few of those, and I'll speed that up if I need it. Okay, so I'll treat those. Ay. Okay. So now we will see what the dwarves are planning to do in here. So we are on to 16%. So this will probably be the end of the server progress. The ring has been captured, 3 capsules have been captured, everyone gets those rewards. Now, I'm not entirely sure, and I'm a little bit disappointed in the fact that devs have not really given us timelines before this, and that's kind of agitated me a little bit. You know, giving people vague, this is the server progress. When is the server going to end? When is the season going to end? When are we going to go to those servers? Well, just hang around and wait. I feel like that's been badly dealt with. I feel like they could have given us more concrete dates, even if they were changeable. Even like we're aiming for this date in October, we're aiming for this date in November, and then there'll be sort of like this transition period. But we've received nothing. We're absolutely completely in the dark, and we are, I don't know, a week away from the new server. We are 3 weeks away from the new server. What's happening with the merges? How many servers are going to get merged together? Everybody is kind of confused and in the dark, and I get asked on a daily basis. And to be honest, the problem here is people are going to start leaving the game, because especially now, like dwarves, maybe they lost capital. If some of them lose the will to particularly log in and play again, it's happening in some other factions and other places as well. People just like, well, I'm done. I think that if they'd actually given us more of an idea of time and said, okay, well, we're going to be aiming for, just give us a vague idea, then it would have given, and there we go, there's the rule them all server progress. It would just give them people to say like, okay, right, fine, I'll just give up for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and I'll relax, chillax, and I'll come back in 2 or 3 weeks. Now you run the risk of people just being like, okay, yeah, I just don't want to bother. I'm done. But there we go. Server progress is completed. Erebor has fallen, the mighty city. In merely 24 hours, things were going wrong for them when ElvenKings fell, and then the crossing, and then the Laketown, and then the Dale, and now Erebor. They have fought valiantly to the last man. The amount of dwarves that have fallen and the amount of elves that have fallen is insane. Numbers, overwhelming numbers, and activity has been their downfall, and it was impressive. Lots of forts around here, lots of bases around here. They held firm, they held steadfast, they fought to the last man. Now it will be interesting to see where they go, what they choose to do. Do they try and regroup? Do they try and focus and maybe try and take their capital back again? Do they do they just chill out for the rest of the season and just farm and get the tips and daily bonuses and things? I'm not entirely sure. We'll see. We'll see where it goes from here. But I will give an update when we see the progression in the next zones. We will see what the map look like tomorrow, and we should have a good idea, so like where these elves now start to filter out, whether they go to push into dwarf lands, whether they push down towards sort of Koft over here and Emin Mul trying to cause some distraction and bother here, whether they go over to here to fight DHOA and put them to the sword or try and reclaim these. What they do with Isengard, because they have a bit of an issue with Isengard. Do they come back and they try and fight Isengard? Do they keep on pushing and cause disruption? What's going to happen to all the mainland of Gondor if they leave, now that the elves have opened up fronts potentially to their homelands? You know, the further they go up here and the further they focus around here, all this is a risk. So, I mean, there is still action to go on here. Yeah, 2 or 3 weeks. There's still things that are going to be going on. But, you know, players are dropping out. Everyone's losing stuff, and people kind of just like, we have no idea what's going on. So, yeah, hopefully that will improve. Hopefully we'll have an update. Hopefully we'll know more. But there we go for today.